Welcome to the 30 questions everyone should know. 31 questions. Let's go! You have 7 seconds to answer each question, and then we explain the answer. Which is the largest planet in our solar system? Jupiter is so massive you could fit all the other planets inside it with room to spare. Its Great Red Spot, a storm bigger than Earth, has been raging for over 350 years. Jupiter also acts as a cosmic shield, its enormous gravity pulling in asteroids and comets that would otherwise threaten the inner solar system. How many bones are in an adult human body? Adults have exactly 206 bones, but we are born with around 270 to 300 that gradually fuse as we grow. The fusion process is largely complete by age 25. The smallest bone in the entire body is the stirrup inside the ear, measuring just 3 millimeters long. What percentage of Earth's surface is covered by water? Over 71% of Earth's surface is ocean, but more than 96% of that water is too salty to drink. Less than 1% of all water on Earth is fresh and readily accessible to humans. This makes fresh water one of the planet's most critical and scarce resources. How many colors are in a rainbow? Isaac Newton was the first to document that white light splits into 7 distinct colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet when passed through a prism. The sequence is memorized as Roy G. Biv. In nature, rainbows form when sunlight refracts through raindrops in the atmosphere. Which language has the most native speakers in the world? Mandarin Chinese has nearly 1 billion native speakers, far more than any other language on Earth. English ranks third behind Spanish in native speakers but leads globally in total speakers when non-natives are counted. Together, Mandarin and English cover nearly a quarter of the global population. How many hearts does an octopus have? Octopuses have 3 hearts, 2 pump blood through the gills, and 1 pumps it through the rest of the body. They also have blue blood, powered by a copper-based protein called hemocyanin. If that isn't enough, they have 9 brains, a central 1+1 in each tentacle, so each arm can act semi-independently. How long does it take Earth to orbit the Sun? Earth takes exactly 365.25 days to complete one orbit around the Sun, which is why we add an extra day every 4 years in a leap year. Without this correction, our calendar would drift by about 24 days per century. The Gregorian calendar we use today was specifically designed to stay aligned with Earth's true orbital period. Which metal has the highest melting point? Tungsten melts at 3,422 degrees Celsius, the highest of any pure metal, and hotter than the surface temperature of most stars visible to the naked eye. This extreme heat resistance makes it invaluable for light bulb filaments, welding equipment, and high-performance aircraft. Tungsten is also one of the densest metals on Earth. How long does it take light from the Sun to reach Earth? Sunlight travels approximately 150 million kilometers to reach Earth in just over 8 minutes and 20 seconds. This means if the Sun suddenly disappeared, we would not know for more than 8 minutes. Light from the next nearest star, Proxima Centauri, takes over 4 years to arrive. What is the chemical symbol for gold? Gold's chemical symbol O comes from aurum, the Latin word for gold. This naming convention dates from ancient Rome, long before English became the dominant language of science. Pure gold is actually so soft that it can be scratched with a fingernail. Most gold jewelry is alloyed with other metals for durability. Approximately what percentage of your DNA do you share with a banana? Humans share approximately 60% of their DNA with bananas. We share 98% with chimpanzees and about 85% with mice. This reflects the fact that DNA is the universal language of life. The core genetic machinery for basic cell functions is remarkably similar across almost all living things on Earth. How many chambers does the human heart have? The heart has 4 chambers, 2 upper atria and 2 lower ventricles. The right side receives oxygen-poor blood from the body and sends it to the lungs. The left side receives oxygen-rich blood and pumps it out to the entire body. The average heart beats around 100,000 times per day, without ever resting. Which planet in our solar system spins in the opposite direction to most others? Venus rotates in the opposite direction to Earth and most planets. On Venus, the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. A Venusian day lasts 243 Earth days, which is actually longer than its year of 225 Earth days. Scientists believe Venus may have been struck by a massive object early in its history that reversed its rotation. What is the most abundant gas in Earth's atmosphere? Nitrogen makes up about 78% of Earth's atmosphere, while oxygen is only around 21%. Most people assume we primarily breathe oxygen. In reality, the majority of every breath is nitrogen that our bodies cannot use. The remaining 1% is mostly argon, with trace amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases. What percentage of Earth's oceans remains unexplored? According to NOAA, more than 80% of Earth's oceans remain unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the deep ocean floor. The deepest point, the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, was only first reached by humans in 1960 and barely visited since. What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? Diamond sits at 10 on the Mohs hardness scale, the maximum possible score. It is pure carbon arranged in a tetrahedral crystal lattice, which gives it extraordinary hardness. Diamonds can only be scratched by other diamonds, making them indispensable in industrial cutting, drilling, and grinding tools worldwide. At what temperature are Fahrenheit and Celsius exactly equal? The two temperature scales converge at exactly -40 degrees, the only point where they show the same number. You can prove this mathematically. Setting F equal to C in the conversion formula gives C equals -40. It is a unique coincidence baked into the maths of the two competing unit systems. What is the most common blood type in the world? O positive is the most common blood type globally, found in roughly 38% of the population. O negative is different, called the universal donor because it can be given to anyone regardless of blood type, making it the most critical supply in hospitals. Rare blood types like AB negative occur in fewer than 1% of people. How long can a headless cockroach survive? A cockroach can survive for several weeks without its head because it breathes through tiny holes in its body segments called spiracles, which do not require a brain to function. The only reason it eventually dies is that without a mouth, it cannot drink water and succumbs to dehydration. It truly is one of nature's most resilient creatures. What is the only letter that does not appear in any U.S. state name? The letter Q is the only one missing from all 50 U.S. state names. Z appears in Arizona, X in Texas and New Mexico, and J in New Jersey, but Q has been left out of every single state name. It's one of those facts that seems impossible until you actually check each state and realize it is true. What is the best-selling book of all time? The Bible has sold an estimated 5 billion copies, making it the best-selling book in human history by an enormous margin. Harry Potter, despite being a global phenomenon, has sold around 600 million copies across all 7 books combined. The second most sold secular book is thought to be the Quran. Approximately how many stars are in the Milky Way galaxy? The Milky Way contains an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars, with our Sun being just one of them. The observable universe contains roughly 2 trillion galaxies. There are more stars in the observable universe than grains of sand on all of Earth's beaches and deserts combined. What percentage of the adult human body is water? The adult human body is approximately 60% water, though this varies with age, sex, and body composition. Muscle tissue holds significantly more water than fat. Newborns are about 78% water at birth. Even your bones are around 31% water, which is why hydration directly affects bone health and not just general well-being. Which English number has the same number of letters as its numerical value? Four has 4 letters, and it is the only number in English with this property. 1 has 3 letters, 2 has 3, 3 has 5, 5 has 4, and so on. It is a unique mathematical and linguistic coincidence that no other number in the language shares. What is the most visited art museum in the world? The Louvre in Paris attracts around 9 million visitors per year. Its most famous exhibit, the Mona Lisa, is smaller than most people expect at just 77 by 53 centimeters, and stands behind bulletproof glass with round-the-clock security. The museum's collection spans 35,000 works from ancient civilizations to the 19th century. Which country has the most vending machines per capita? Japan has roughly 1 vending machine for every 23 people, approximately 5.5 million machines nationwide. You can buy hot meals, fresh flowers, umbrellas, and canned beverages from street machines at any hour. Japan's vending machine culture developed due to limited retail space, high labor costs, and an exceptionally low rate of vandalism. How many continents are there on Earth? Earth has 7 continents: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, or Oceania, Europe, North America, and South America. Some countries teach 5 or 6 continents by combining Eurasia or the Americas, but 7 is the international standard used in most English-speaking countries and by the United Nations. How many teeth does an adult human have, including wisdom teeth? Adults have 32 teeth when all 4 wisdom teeth are included, 8 incisors, for canines, 8 premolars, and 12 molars. However, about 85% of people need at least 1 wisdom tooth removed because the modern human jaw has shrunk over millennia and often lacks room for all 4. Without wisdom teeth, 28 is the more practical total. Which food never expires? Honey is the only food with essentially no expiration date. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly edible. Honey's extremely low moisture content, acidic pH, and naturally occurring hydrogen peroxide create an environment where bacteria and microorganisms simply cannot survive. How long would the DNA from a single human cell be if fully unraveled? The DNA in a single human cell, if fully unraveled, would stretch to approximately 2 meters. Your body contains around 37 trillion cells, so all your DNA laid end to end would stretch from Earth to Pluto and back several times over. Yet all of it is packed into a nucleus just 6 micrometers wide. How did you do? Let us know in the comments, and test your knowledge in these categories next.